Hi, welcome to another episode of Swarajya Direct Line. Today I have with me Karan Bhasni, and we will be talking of the recent Congress accusations on the BJP of what they say is the waiving off of loans from the early 2010s of the likes of Vijay Mallya, Nirav Modi, and Mehul Chokshi. So, Karan, explain us what are these accusations really all about?
Okay, so well, what happens conventionally in the banking space is that since I think 2013 and in fact more to be more accurately since 2014 mid, the Reserve Bank changed its stance and its tolerance on non-performing assets. Conventionally, what used to happen is that banks used to not recognize them as a problem, and even when debt wasn't being serviced or installments weren't coming, they would keep it on their books as assets and keep going on and on and on, which is called evergreening of loans. Then in 2014, government decided that this is not a right approach. If there is a problem, you recognize it. And how do you recognize it? You say you classify it as a non-performing asset, then you take some part of your profits away to make up for this loss on your balance sheet, because ultimately this is money that you've lent or that you will not get. So you basically put it as NPAs and you make provisionings. Now, once you have provisioned for the entire loan, you write it off your balance sheet because you have obviously compensated for the loss. This does not mean that you will not recover this loan, but you assume that none of the money is going to come back. So it's purely a balance sheet issue in that sense. Now, a lot of people will ask question that what happens when you write it off. Well, that's why we have the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Tribunal. What happens once you have written it off is obviously that, in fact, even while you haven't written it off, you go into the IBC and you seek a resolution for these bad assets and you recover money from the insolvency proceedings. So yes, it is possible that you may write off the loans, but that is not a waiver. You will recover the money through the IBC proceedings.
Confusion here is between the waive off and the write off. The Congress claims it's a waive off. They want to give an impression that the government has let go of the money, which is clearly not the case. So, how would you attribute any merit to these accusations, really, Karan?
Absolutely not. I think Congress, really needs to invest some time and energy into understanding how the financial system works. And I think probably the senior leadership should, really sit with some of their experts and try to understand before making these baseless and false accusations. A write-off is not a waiver. I mean, it's fundamentally two different issues. And as far as commenting on banking system is concerned, I think Rahul Gandhi should really refrain from doing so, because he cannot comment adequately on issues that are very common. And finance is a technical subject. तो भैया जब आपसे दाल रोटी नहीं बनाई जा रही तो फिर आप मतलब सीधा मार्गरीटा पिज्जा कहाँ से बनाएंगे?
Right. Karan, talking of the banking system, the BJP government, since it has come in 2014, it has complained that it inherited a broken banking system. And even the finance minister, in her retort last night on Twitter, she mentioned the phone banking crony capitalism the Congress indulged in its tenure. So, could you elaborate on that, please?
Well, this is absolutely true, and it's out there in the public. I mean, everyone knows कि ये सब हो रहा था तब. Let's put into things into perspective. What used to happen after 2008-9 was that people wanted loans, including these large corporate houses. Some of them, such as Kingfisher Group, etc. There are instances that have been highlighted in several memos by different people associated with the UPA government, where the finance minister of the country used to call banks and ask them to lend. That used to happen. There's no denial, and that happened a lot between 2010 to 2014. And even Raghuram Rajan has on record said that a lot of the NPAs happened because of this. So yes, phone banking was a part of the problem that coexisted, and it is a sort of reminder of the crony capitalism that was practiced early in 1980s and then between 2004 and 2014. So yes, I think it is a bit unfair for Congress to come back and talk about the banking system, because the fragility in our banking system is largely a doing of their sins.
Karan, one last thing before we conclude this. people would like to understand, because there's been a talk of getting back Vijay Mallya, there's been a talk of getting back Nirav Modi. Their assets have been attached as well, but there's no clear picture on the action government has taken, because Congress keeps coming back with these allegations against the finance minister that they are friends of BJP and things like that. So if you could elaborate on the action the government has taken before I move on to my last question.
Okay, so see, it's very easy for them to come and say that they're friends with the BJP, etc. Fact is that, a lot of the loans were sanctioned by a finance minister that was a finance minister in the UPA government. And it is also shameful that the same person was, held in jail for a very long time on corruption charges. To imagine that, your country's finance minister is in jail, former finance minister is in jail for corruption. It's just disgusting, it's shameful, and it should cause them to introspect a lot before making these acquisitions. As far as your question is concerned on the steps government has taken, well, look at, these are issues which are very complex because of a lot of treaties that have been signed between different countries. But fact is that Indian government has gone on and filed cases across different countries, and it's trying its best to extradite these people back to India. In fact, Vijay Mallya has been, tweeting and saying that he's willing to pay back every penny. I don't know what he's waiting for. I think he should pay it back if he really means it. But the very fact that, you brought in laws such as IBC, Fugitive Offenders Bill, etc. Now, those are steps that did not exist before. So you created those frameworks to bring these people back and to recover money. Now, all of that happened after 2014. So there is no reason why anyone, I think nobody can in their right mind levy a charge against the current administration that it is trying to prevent crony capitalists. If at all, it is trying to dismantle the system of crony capitalism and create a system which is more rule-based, so that, the rules are applied more universally and generally, and even the MSMEs can aspire to become bigger. I think that has been the hallmark of the policy from 2014, instead of what obviously is being alleged by the opposition.
Last question, talking of the rule-based system and the importance of MSMEs. Now, we are just coming out of a slowdown. We hope we are coming out of a slowdown, because to kickstart the economy, banks will have to play a critical role. You have been voicing your opinion about that. So the health of the banking system is always in question, given the kind of phone banking we had, given the kind of NPS we had accumulated. So something you would elaborate on that, the health of the banking system going forward.
Well, to be fair, I think it's been 6 years, and by now we should have, resolved the issues in the banking system. For some reason or not, it hasn't happened. Could be because, we were too slow with recapitalization or, general slowdown, etc. And the current slowdown that we're going to witness post-COVID is going to put more stress in the short to medium term. Which is why there is a urgent need for certain interventions to ensure that the banking system remains healthy. Now, I see that some amount of liquidity enhancement, etc., has been done by the RBI. They will definitely help banks, roll over some of the problems, and effectively, higher growth will sort of, ensure that these legacy issues are taken care of. I, however, think that this is a time where we need to revisit the idea of a bad bank. And in a single go, we need to do a complete surgery of the banking system and take away all toxic assets. And the reason why I think that is important is because then banks will be relatively little, or maybe, perhaps less risk averse. IBC is a great idea in a normal time, but, the issue is IBC is like this pipeline. Now, when there is this big chunk of, blockage in the pipeline, IBC cannot clean it up immediately. It takes time, and we cannot obviously allow or wait for the financial system to take, their good time to fix itself. We need to take certain measures. I'm confident that the change in stance of the RBI is in the right direction, and I'm hopeful that probably even the government may revisit some of the ideas in order to ensure that our banking system restores itself quickly. It's just essential and critical for accelerating our recovery from the post-COVID slump.
Thank you so much for those elaborate insights, Karan. Thank you for watching Swarajya Direct Line.
Always a pleasure, Tushar.